What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having an incredible day. Make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I want to talk about something very applicable, very specific, and I think that you are really going to get a lot out of this. So let's dive right in. Do politics and cryptocurrency, are they somehow correlated? Because the political climate is heating up so much that it seems like it's going to it's ramping up to something. Like, this is a big ramp up after you've taken an edible to what? We don't know yet. We've never been here before. I would have to say, and I'm going to say this point blank, I think that the more money that is printed, right, the better that is for Bitcoin. Purely just, that's why it was created. It was created as a hedge against inflation. That's the simple thing that the government cannot control it and print it. That's what makes it so valuable. And I think that, yes, we have added a tremendous amount to our debt under the current administration. That is absolutely the case. But it seems to be compounding. Like the Obama administration added more than the previous Bush administration. Then that administration added more than that administration. So it's compounding as it goes up. Also to keep in mind, the COVID situation made it to where, they had to print a bunch of money, and they had to do quantitative easing. They kept interest rates artificially low. And I'm not political, so I'm not defending any of these candidates. I'm not siding with either one of them. I'm just saying what has happened. We've had to add a tremendous amount of debt to the national deficit. So I'm actually happy about that, because I'm a holder of BTC, and I think that everything's going to be derived in BTC in the future. With that being said, I believe that if Biden gets in, that is extremely well for Bitcoin. Why? Well, his plan costs $11 trillion. $11 trillion. That's how much his plan costs. Okay? $11 trillion. What is the deficit now? 25 trillion? So they're talking about raising it to 36 trillion. It'll be $36 trillion with Biden's plan. Now, that's a ton of money. And that's just his plan. That's not including all the unfunded liabilities. That's not included Medicare, Medicaid, all the unfunded liabilities. So some people say that's estimates actually really low. Under a Biden administration, we could double the national debt in 4 years. Double it. It means we could be looking upwards of 50 trillion, something like that. $50 trillion. So on a strict basis level, if I want to bet just for my bags, I think that a Biden administration would heavily. I think Bitcoin would go into a super cycle. I'm not even joking. It would go into and I think that a lot of things would probably implode if he gets in. For one, if the stock market went up when Trump got in, if Biden gets in, I think that thing's gonna tank. I'm just saying, if he gets in, I'm taking shorts out. I'm taking short options out. Plain and simple. That is just all of Silicon Valley knows that, right? So they're caught in between a rock and a hard place, right? Well, do they push the narrative and get Trump out of office, get Biden in, but then they know their stocks are gonna crash. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I would say this: if you're an investor, if you're watching this channel, you're a new person, you're like, what should I do? What should I do? I would say, if Biden gets in, buy Bitcoin. I would be stacking as much as you possibly can right now, and I would say, I would sell my stocks. I would liquidate my 401k, and I would put it all into Bitcoin, because there is a chance he might get in. He could get in. He absolutely could get in. And this 11 trillion, we're going to be on a fast track to FedCoin, right? We're going to be on a fast track to FedCoin. We already know that they wanted that in the coronavirus stimulus bill. A lot of people on the left were pushing for FedCoin. FedCoin is great for Bitcoin. Amazing for Bitcoin. That's bringing the blockchain technology to the new head. If anything, I want Biden to get in, just because I want the dollar to crash, because I know they're going to print it into oblivion, right? They want to give amnesty to 34 undocumented. They want to give amnesty to I don't know, the 34 million undocumented immigrants. That's great for Bitcoin. We've got to print the money and get that up. So I don't see how cryptocurrency and politics aren't correlated. The whole entire reason Satoshi made Bitcoin was to combat a corrupt system where banking cartels ran everything. The government pretty much has a monopoly on how much money they can print through the Federal Reserve. It was a protest to that. That's exactly what it is. It's how can it not be political? how can you not say that it's not? How could you say that it's not political? And it's political in every sense of the word. So I can stand back and I'm politically agnostic, right? Well, I was voting Andrew Yang. I was voting for Yang. I was on the Yang gang. I made music about it. The only reason I was on the Yang gang was I mean, this dude was so hip. Like, he was so ahead of the curve. Like, he would give everyone $1,000 a month. Well, then that's what they did anyway, right? They just ripped off his idea. So, Yang's not in, whatever. I just, like, I could care less for the whole politics game. To me, it's just entertainment. So, but as far as money is concerned, I am saying that I would be stacking as much BTC right now as I possibly could, given the current situation of this climate. I mean, okay, let me tell you a story. A lot of people don't know this. When I started buying Bitcoin, you could actually go to a cash ATM. I would go to cash ATMs because I had cash because I was a server in a bar, and I would serve and bartend. And I would take my cash and I would put it in the Bitcoin ATM. Guess what? I didn't need to do KYC back then. There was no KYC. That didn't exist. You could go and I bought my Bitcoin. I would just scan my phone and would just put it right on my wallet on my phone. Now you cannot buy from a Bitcoin ATM without KYC. They're cracking down on Coinbase accounts. They're cracking down on traders. They're making it harder and harder to get in and out of this system. Why? It's politically motivated, right? They want people to be hooked on the dollar to keep demand for the dollar alive. If nobody used the dollar and everyone used BTC, the government wouldn't be able to function. They wouldn't be able to run their regime. They just wouldn't. So they have got. See, the government doesn't. The government makes you think that they need your taxes. They don't. They can edit their bank account. We know this is true. You know this is true. You can't. No one can dispute that. They don't need your tax money, but they need you to need it, right? It's like a drug dealer, right? He needs the people that are doing the drugs to be addicted to the drugs, so they come back and they keep the demand high for the drugs. And see, if everyone got sober, if everyone got off of drugs, that'd be the worst thing. That's the worst thing for a drug dealer. Right? It's the same with the United States dollar, right? They make the money, they print the money, they send it out. They need you to go out and collect it. That's why you can only pay your taxes in the United States dollar. They need you to bring it back because that continues to drive demand for it. You have demand for it, they can print more of it. They can continue to finance their political motives, whatever they want to do. It's all political, right? Let's just say we're gonna do this social program, do that social program, right? So the reason they're doing that is to buy. They're essentially buying votes with money that they print. That has high demand because they create the high demand through making you be addicted to the dollar. I mean, it's a genius scam, but essentially it's the United States dollar is a scam. All fiat money is a scam, and it's politically motivated, and that is why I say the more and more people that get on Bitcoin and get off the U.S. dollar, right? They're getting unplugged from the matrix. I think that when Bitcoin goes to $100,000, which I think it's going to happen, it's only a matter of time, and it has private transactions on it, the government's just going to lose its mind. They're just going to lose their mind. So I know what I'm saying sounds a bit dystopian, but I like to make videos like this because you have to see where things are headed. You have got to see where things are headed. And I think it's going to be a pretty scary world for people that don't have Bitcoin. I'll leave it with that. Smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That is where I'm at right now. I will be talking to y'all later. Until next time, peace.